Hello everyone, this is Douglas E. Welch and welcome to this Technology IQ Chalk Talk. Just back in the old days when the football coaches used to sit in the locker rooms and draw diagrams about offensive and defensive plays, well, guess what? I found in my work that the drawing of pictures is extremely helpful to helping people understand complex technological topics. So I've decided to do a little bit of that myself. Today we're going to talk about expanding your network in your home or small office. The truth is today our local internet connections are used for much more than simply a one PC wired to the wall or even a laptop. We have iPads and iPhones and Roku boxes which attach to our television sets and even internet capable televisions. So what happens if your internet connection doesn't cover your entire home? Especially here in the US with our large home sizes, this is often the case, and I deal with this with my clients on a regular basis. So first of all, let's do a little diagram of our internet connection. First up here we have the internet, the outside world as a whole, the whole thing we're trying to get connected to. Now in most homes, you'll see that there are we usually have something like a cable or a DSL modem that connects us to our internet service provider like AT&T, Verizon, or others. And then we often have another box hooked to that modem called a router. And this router can do a variety of things. Basically, it shares this one connection with the multiple computers in your network at home, whether it be wired or wireless. So let's put a little antenna here. And that's how we connect to the internet, right? Well, nowadays though, oftentimes this router and this router modem, which can often actually be combined into one box, they can be in a location that's far away from other devices in your home. And so we get the situation such as this. If you're doing a wireless network and you've got a router here, and it's a wireless router, it broadcasts a circle, and forgive my circle drawing skills here, it broadcasts a circle of network coverage. Well, if your laptop or your iPad or your iPhone or your whatever is within this range, no problem at all. It can talk back to the router with no problem at all. But what happens if we have a TV or other internet connected device? Say we want to use our iPad while we're sitting around the TV, and it's either on the very fringe or totally beyond the limits of our existing network. Well, as you may have found out in your own home, this isn't going to work. It'll either work unreliably or maybe not even connect back to the internet at all. So, what do? Well, one of the old school cases is we would simply have a wire that ran from the place where our router is over to a wall jack in the other room, and then your device would plug simply in to that wall jack. If your house isn't already wired for what's called Cat 5 or Category 5 cable, it can be a rather expensive task to have done. So more and more these days, if your house wasn't wired that way to begin with, we're really not expecting people to do much with wiring their home. Instead, let me start a new picture here for us. Instead, if we have our wireless router, boom, boom, our circle of coverage from that router, oftentimes what we'll do is we'll put a wireless network extender box somewhere within the receiving range of that original router. What this box then does, so I'll put a big E here for extender, is it publishes another ring of coverage, hopefully then encompassing your nice big screen TV with its little DVR or Roku box or other media device. And so through the wireless network then, we're able to broadcast wherever you need to be in your home. Now the trouble being, if you have a large distance to travel, say over here, one of these extenders is not going to be enough. Also, if you have big, heavy walls between you and your router or between you and your extender, this can also stop the radio waves from getting here to your TV, okay? So in some cases this will work, usually smaller homes or areas where you already have a nice strong signal from the original router. You just need to add to it a little bit, maybe a backyard, maybe a living room, maybe another bedroom. Of all the types I'm going to talk about today, this is probably the least reliable, unfortunately. Because if you're having wireless reception problems in your home, there's probably other environmental issues like this wall or interference from lamps in the house and stuff like that. So it can be a real issue if there's a lot of interference in the home. So what's next? Well, as I said before, it was kind of a hassle running wire through our house, but in two different cases, we actually have wires that are already running through our home that we can make use of. Okay, so here's our router again. And in this case, we're going to ignore the fact that the wireless network can only reach, say, this far, but our TV or PC or other devices over here in another room. Because what we're going to do is one of the options is you can use what's called a power line extender. And a power line extender is another box you can buy. It usually comes in a kit of 2 pieces where you have your power outlet in your wall. The power line extender plugs into that and then also plugs into your router. So we'll say this, here's this E again, this is our extender. Then, over near our TV or other device, for example, also there's a power outlet, right? Into that power outlet, we plug in the receiving box. Looks quite like the original device, but one is a transmitter and one is a receiver. And then that device has usually either an Ethernet port for your Ethernet cable, or it can have a wireless radio into it, which then broadcasts a circle of wireless coverage around that area. Well, you might ask, how does the internet get from here over to here? The fact is through this power lines in your house, it actually encodes the internet signal in the electricity traveling through your home. And it bridges this gap here between the two devices by using the power lines in your home. Now again, just like wireless, there can be some issues with distance, there can be some issues with interference on the electric lines if you have something particularly noisy plugged into your electrical lines. And there are certain cases where the house is maybe wired in your fuse box with what are called 2 legs to the electric system. I have had some issues where if this plug is on this leg and this plug is on this leg, it may not work. I will say though, I have had fewer and fewer issues with that. These power line systems seem to have gotten really, really good. And you will notice that the internet speeds you get here are almost the same as if you had a direct Category 5 Ethernet cable running between the two. So that's our second option, is to use power line network extenders to get the internet to a portion of your house where you may not have it available today. Finally, another system that I just recently used in my own home, I hadn't thought about it much because I really hadn't had a use for it, but it allows you to, again, use cables already in your house. In my case, I had a cable TV, let me see if I can draw the end of it here, a cable TV line in my house running from my back office all the way up to the front part of the house. I had that put in to put cable television in that front room. Well, I just recently turned off my cable television. I still have cable internet. And I realized that that line was now free for me to put a network Wi-Fi device in the front part of my house where my coverage has not been that good. It's an older home built in 1943, and it can, the metal lath in the walls can actually block some of the wireless signal. So I figured, why not? I had this cable lying around, why wouldn't I use it? So here we are. This is the wireless device in my front room or living room, whatever you'd care to call it. And over here is the wireless router in my office. Again, it's a separate little box that plugs into the router via a standard Ethernet connection. Then off the box, it plugs into the standard coax cable that you would see used for antennas or cable lines in your house. That then comes over to a similar box, which is here, and it reverses the process. The cable coax coming in spits out an Ethernet port, which connects to whatever device. I could just have it connect to one computer, or in my case, I've actually connected it to a wireless access point in the front room, which then gives me a nice wireless coverage for about 4 rooms up front. This is called Ethernet over coax, and I bought my devices through the Amazon store, and there will be links to all these devices, the wireless extenders, the power line extenders, and the coax extenders available as part of this talk in the description. So I hope this has helped to clear up any issues or any thoughts you might had about extending the wireless network in your house. I know it's something that I deal with my clients quite a bit. If you'd like further information on this topic or other technology topics, check me out at TechIQ. The website is techiq.welchwright.com. Until next time, control your technology. Don't let it control you.